See, there. Now we got something. Ah, what trash. Man. So sometimes you try to do something and everything works fine for a minute and then you have to go back and reset it up. Anyways, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm going to turn this down some. Yeah, that sucked, guys. I didn't like that. Anyways, let's try this again. So, hello and welcome to How to Draw with Mel. Alright, so we were trying to do this earlier, and let's just move that out of the way because I have to color that. And yeah, it's a work in progress. I'm trying something new today. So, anyways, here's a piece of paper. Alright, and how I'm going to draw is I'm going to try to reverse this. And yeah. There we go. Now I have to flip it. So this way you guys can actually see me draw. So, anyways, what I would like to be able to do, or the idea is on Sundays, I will show you guys how to draw a little bit. Give you guys some tips and pointers that, you know, not everybody has digital capabilities. So this will allow you to be able to see exactly how to draw the way that I do. And this might help you too if you are wanting to draw. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to just basically go over tools. Okay, so the tools that we are going to need while we're doing this is a couple of things. Nothing too expensive or anything too crazy, but I'm just going to show you a couple of the tools that I use, and then this way you guys will know what you need. Okay, and also I will have either links or I have something coming up in the future that you guys might be interested in, that I can also get you from the store. So the items that we're going to need are an eraser, of course. Of most things you need an eraser. There are also different types of pencils and pens that we are going to need, but the main ones that I use are an 05 pencil, which is a lead pencil, and I also use a 07 or 09 for different types of shading. So I got 3 of them. And then of course you want some pens. Not just any type of pen, you want fine tip pens, you know, like 0.5, like tip here, as you can see, very fine tip. If it focuses, which this camera sucks, so I'm probably gonna have to get another camera that actually works properly. So this one is a 0.05, and there's some other pens here, as you can see. There it goes from brushes to all the way up to 0. I don't even know, but I'll let you guys see here. As it's blurry as hell and it doesn't show up. But anyways, tried to show it, but this camera sucks. But yeah, it goes anywhere from 0.05 all the way up to 0.1 or 0.8, one of the two. Anyways, you want to have those pens, okay? And mainly what we're going to start with, you know, or if you just have a basic pencil, you can use those as well. So what we're going to do today, and just so you guys get used to it, is just kind of going over what we're going to try to go over and what we're going to learn. So I'm going to give you guys kind of examples of the things that I want to show you guys, or what we're going to start with. So we're going to start with learning how to do just normal body shapes, you know. So I want to do things like getting used to doing a circle. If it comes up, hopefully it shows up. And nothing showed up. That's even great, and even better. So I guess I'm gonna have to use a thicker pencil. So we're gonna use the 07, because 07 has thicker lead. Are pens from the dollar store good? I mean, I would say probably get something, spend a little bit of money on your tools. You don't want to just get any kind of pencil. You know, you can get pencils and sometimes they'll be really great, sometimes they'll suck. You want to get something that, Number one, feels good to your hand when you're using it. You don't want to get something that's just going to be hard to use. You want something that you're going to like to use, something that's going to be easier for you to be able to pick up and be comfortable with. That's like me with lead pencils. I started using those because they were easily accessible in school. So I would just pick those up. So, we want to do simple things like shape. So maybe that'll show up. Yeah, there we go. We got a circle. Get used to doing different shapes. Get used to doing different types of, making squares. We're just going to learn like the basics. Just shapes, squares, triangles, and then what we'll do from there after we do this, everybody gets used to that. Then we'll start doing things like making larger objects and giving them depth. Like a circle, you can give it depth by depicting like a shadow or a circumference area, so you can have, certain things like this here. As you can see, lightly, but it doesn't show up that well. Or, things like the square. We'll start learning different things like perspective. I'll show you guys that. Use a ruler, which I have in my art box, per se. But, we'll do things like that. I'll show you different little things. And then also while I'm here, I'll do simple little drawings some days. Like today, I'm going to do a simple drawing here in a moment. But I want to show you, how we'll be able to make boxes, show depth in the work, without using extra tools, like perspective tools or anything like that from software. But sometimes digital work can basically fill in all the gaps. If there's any issues like lines or shadows or shape, depending on the software, it can compensate for that. There we go. So we got a triangle, we'll give that some more depth. There we go. So we'll be doing stuff like that, learning how to do that. Hopefully that makes sense. You use the left hand or right hand, or doesn't matter. I'm right-handed. So if you're left-handed, use your left hand. If you're right-handed, use your right hand. If you're ambidextrous and you like to use both, then I say use both. But that's what I choose to use. I like using that. Now I can show you that there's two types of kits that I would recommend with us doing this. Number one, you want a mechanical pencil kit, and number two, you also would like to use a regular pencil kit. Now, I can show you my mechanical pencil kit. I got this at Amazon. When I find the link, I will put it, I will share it. But anyways, it gives you everything that you need here for the mechanical pencils. Like I have here, thicker lead, O2, like 2.0. This is very thick lead. This is for doing larger pictures. This came with a lot of extra stuff, like extra leads. Even came with color pencil leads, which is nice. But these are also thicker and bigger lead for the pencils, which is good because that's what we're going to use for you guys to be able to see. Now, that kit, like I said, that's something that you can get if you want to, or you don't have to. That doesn't really matter that much, but you definitely want mechanical pencils, and you want regular pencils too, and you want to get the HB pencils and all of that. So I will show you guys. So, and the reason why is because this one is a lot darker, as you can see. So anything that we do here, you can see the darkness of it as we shade. Get an idea of that's the 2.0. This is 0.5 right here. So you can just see the darkness of the lead. what you're looking at. That's very light. I use that for a lot of my line art, especially when I get ready to do detail. I use 0.5 to just get the line art done, and then I go to 0.7 lead to darken it up. As you can see, that's 0.5, and I'll put the different types here. This is 2.0, 0.05, 0.07, and this one will be 0.09. So now that's fine. The thing is here, and I just want to set this expectation, is that there are going to be people that come to the show, they're going to watch, you know, if you know something that can be helpful, please help. Put something in the chat to help. But if you're not going to help, and I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're not trying to help or trying to be productive with the rest of the group that is watching, then, you know, I would recommend just not saying anything, because there are people here that might want to see what's really going on. So don't take that opportunity from them. But anyways, just wanted to say that so we can get past that. What's your question, Demetra? You asked what type of paper, copy paper or notebook paper. I'm using printer paper right now because I have a few sheets that I'm not really using, and it's easier than trying to get a sketchbook and flip it. But if you guys want to follow along, I would say have a sketchbook, because what this is that I want you guys to be able to have something to reference yourself with as you grow. So as I show you different things that I learned as I taught myself up to the point that I'm at now and still learning, I want to show you what I've learned from the time of I didn't know anything from simple school art all the way to where I'm at now. So you guys can see your progression as you progress through. Or as, you know, as time goes by and you start practicing, you can see, okay, this is where I started, this is where I'm at now. Yeah, so, all right. So that's pretty much the basis of that, the difference between the different types of pencil lead, the darkness of it, you know, so you kind of have a general idea of what we're talking about, 02, 5, 7, and 9. You can get darker than that. You can go for like the HB harder leads, but unless if you're doing serious like black and white scale pictures, in most cases you don't need to worry about that in most cases. But since we're here, hello Bean Boozle, hi, how are you doing? Let's see here, depends on what you are using it for. If you're using pencil to use a sketchbook or something that has thin kind of paper, which you could also find easily at the Dollar Tree. Yeah, that's true. Thicker paper is for watercolors, paints, etc. Yeah, look at you. Good job. Look at you. I'm impressed. I'm impressed, Bean. Yeah, exactly like she said. Or Bean Boozler said. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thicker paper you can do different things with. And I can show you that. I'll show you that later when I get like markers and stuff out. I just want to start with pencils today. But yes, different types of paper you can do different things with. Thinner paper, sketching, you know, you don't want to do anything harder than that. There are papers out there that you can get that will do, you know, sketching, paint, some watercolor. So you definitely want to see the different textures of paper. Fill the paper out, see if it's thick. Like this right here, I'm using 110-pound cardstock, okay? But I use this type of paper, as you see here. This is what I use to make those coloring books when I made coloring books, because it was able to not bleed through. As you can see, it's a lot thicker, it's not as thin. You may or may not be able to see that, but it's not as thin, but it's a little bit heavier weighted paper. And the heavier the paper, the better it is also, especially if you're putting a lot of detail. You don't have to worry about it crinkling out, because some paper, when you start erasing and different things, you'll just shred the paper apart. So yeah, just definitely look at that, and that helps as well. Let's see here. Yeah, I got enough lead here. We'll do a little quick sketch. I'll sketch something real basic. I'll give you guys kind of a basic picture that I used to practice on drawing to get myself started. Okay, so let me see if I can get this situated, because I don't like the setup of how this camera is. I might have to find a different tripod for this, or maybe I have to set it up on the table. That'll be fine. We should be able to do okay here. So what I normally would do for my practice is that I would do foreground, midground, background, something really small. This is how I started out. I would put a line here, just a simple line on the page, and that line will always be the base. So I'm going to use a thicker pencil because it's going to be almost impossible to see with that. So there we go. We'll just do this. So the first thing you want to do is just make a line so you get used to like horizons. That's like a horizon line. Anytime that you do that, you got 3 different levels. You got the horizon, which is here, and then of course you got midground, which is here. You got midground, horizon. You can do further back if you want. This is foreground. Anything forward before that line is foreground, midground. This could be background, horizon. This can even be considered background, depending on how far you go back or what you're doing, depending on the perspective that you're drawing. Many different things, but you want just the 3. You want the 3 aspects to be close by, so you know. So you can do, like, I would draw that, and then what I would draw from that point is I would draw a T, and then I would do like a T, or draw like a box, something real small in the background, so I knew that that was something there. So background there, and then, you know, then I would work forward. But I started working from just something simple here, just drawing a line, something, you know, small. And I would start drawing small. I would draw small things like little stick figures, like a little head, a line, and then the little arms, and then the legs. So this, the reason why I would do this first, and some people would think like, well, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, so the reason why when I was starting out I would draw small, number one, I didn't have much to work with. I mean, I was at school trying to draw this on paper that I'm working with, you know, in class. But I would draw small little things, you know, and I would start off like that every day. Just draw you a line, you know, draw you a little person, and you can either draw them standing there, you can just draw a box. If you want to later on, we'll erase this real quick so that way you get an idea. And also I'm going to go over how to erase too in a minute as well, because some people don't realize that erasing you don't have to shred the paper, or I can show you that right now since we're already here. So erasing, depending on how you're erasing, most people want to just do that mess there. No, you don't want to do that. Okay, how do you know, Mel? You don't know what you're talking about. Well, I do, because when you're erasing like this, doing that mess, what ends up happening, depending on the eraser, if you don't have like an actual eraser meant for sketching, it will tear the paper. It will shred it. I don't know if I have an older one, because I got rid of most of the trash erasers I have. But let me see if I have one. Just an old. Here's an old dried up rubber eraser, a Magic Rub. That eraser has been slightly abused. Okay, this one's a little bit rougher. It's not as sleek as this one. This one's a little bit different. Different type of, same type of eraser, but just a little bit different. This one is a little bit smoother. This one's a little bit rougher, almost like rubber, a little bit like an actual rubber eraser, which is not bad. As you can see, you can really get in there, and it really erases. But as you see, I'm putting pressure on this paper. If I don't, and I'm doing like this, And this paper is also thicker. If it was thinner paper, I would have tore straight through it. Okay? There we go. Is this making sense to everybody? I hope I'm not losing everybody. I'm trying to cut through the basics that some of you may already know and not bore everybody with this. So, hope you don't mind. But anyways, we went over erasers. We got that. I'm going to take that off the list. So, that's your tool there. We went over pencils, different types. So, we got our pencils here. I'm going to show you the pens, I guess, after we do the little exercise. So, yet again, you can do this every day. You don't have to do anything major. It can be something small. But if you want to learn, just make yourself a small little line in the middle of a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be that big. You just want it to be about almost a half an inch. About that big. Just that big. Okay? And the only thing I want you to do from there is I want you to just draw a ball. Okay? And I want you to just make a circle. Alright, just make a circle on the line. Okay? And what I want you to do is every time that you make a circle, make one just a little bit smaller than that. And then make one just a little bit smaller than that. You only gotta draw it like 4 times, like that. Just 4 different size balls. And then the same thing with the stick figure. I just want you to just do a stick figure, nothing special. You know, try to keep it the same size, but you know, head and then the body. And what I mean the same size is just the head, arms, body, and legs as the same size as this. You want them to be almost same size, you know, height-wise. You can kind of get by with that. You know, a little bit larger. The stick figures are perfectly fine, okay? So you have to start somewhere, so that's a good place to start. You got all the fundamentals there. And this is for people who have never drawn before, okay? So, as you can see here, well, you can't really see probably because it's too damn dark. Anyways, so there's that. As you can see, there's one there. Draw this one here, down there. And then you just do that, okay? So you do that, you know, maybe once a day you just draw that. And then the next day you do the same thing, but you can, or if you want to do it later, you can do larger size. And the reason why I want you to do that is this is just an exercise to get comfortable with being able to go from a larger size to a smaller size and increase in size. If you can learn how to increase and decrease in size, that's going to help you as you learn how to draw different shapes. Because if you can draw a medium-sized head like this, then you can draw a medium-sized circle like this, and then you can learn how to draw simple face. You know, the face shape will not be that hard for you to figure out, you know, because it would all be right here. You know, you'll be used to that. And even if you did that size, or even if you did a larger size, you would still be able to, same exact thing, you know, because you're used to that shape already. You know, you've already figured that out, so that's going to be easier for you to be able to draw different things. You can draw different heads, you can draw different perspectives, because you know you can draw different sizes depending if you want to do a small illustration, if you want to do a larger one, if you want to do like a scenery, like we'll say, you know, little horizon there. This is like later. Once you can figure this out, let's say you got a little horizon there, you put a little top part here for like the upper part, you got some water running down like so. You know, boom, boom there, you got water, you know, you got a little disturbance, we'll say, little disturbance here, and then still learning perspective, we can just bring that out further, you see, like so. And I'll just give you a quick idea of what I'm talking about. Let's see, once we do this, we do all this stuff, this is later, you figure out how to make You figure out how to do perspective. You got the perspective there. Boom, boom, boom. You know, you got the disturbance of the water. You got all that. You figure out how to do that. But, oh, I want to put a person there. I don't know how to do that. I've never done it before. I've done it. Now I'm good at doing scenery. You know, I don't know the perspective of how to do a person. This is what this exercise is going to do. So instead of being here where you have, you know, a great scenery going on, you know, but I want a person. I want someone there. I don't want it to just be empty. Well, this is going to help you with that. See, there you go. Now you got a little tree there. You got yourself little trees here, you know, simple little things, but you want to put somebody there. A little grass, you know, some rock, separation. There you go. You got some separation there. You got there to the water line. You see, got that there. You know, all the things that you need to make this into whatever kind of picture or painting that you want. You got all of that. Okay. So the next thing is, how do I draw the person? So if you got that all together and you want to know how to draw a person, then if you've never drawn a person before, you won't know the difference that drawing a small circle, like this one here, would be for something out here. See, you've done this before. You got the practice in. This is simple. There you go. Now, if you want to do a picture, you can paint it. You can put a little person there. If you wanted to do something a little bit closer, like that one, you can put that one here. And then that will give it a little bit closer of a perspective. You know, like someone standing here. You know, like so. And then that'll allow you to know the difference between the two. Say that you want to go all out and you want to do something awesome, you can also do this. Once you learn the difference between the sizes, you can do a much larger one like this or something else. And then there you go. Now you got a full perspective picture. You got 3 different perspectives in one picture. And it's comfortable, and you know how to do this because you've been practicing the different sizes. So everything comes from size proportion, you know, just how it's sized, how it's shaped. It can change how your pictures will look. Perspective is good too, but if you don't understand the fundamentals of making things larger and bigger, you're going to have trouble with that. And then that's going to affect you because then you're going to have to backtrack to figure out how to do that again. I think I also have a sharpener for you. Sorry guys, with this new set, I think I got a pencil sharpener that comes for lead pencils. And it is. Beautiful. Very nice. Is there any questions so far? Anybody have any questions? Anybody got anything that they want to ask? Am I losing anybody? Is it making sense so far? What I'll do is I'm going to flip this over. Okay. Yes. Is that a yes, Atarius, or do you have a question? Yes. Or just yes in general? I take that as a yes and all around. Okay, so it looks like we got... It's always yes, indeed. So, and of course, you know, the next thing also that we've all been over and I've shown before is perspective. So we've been over that. So as of right now, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sketch something for the time that we have left. And I'll sketch this for the next, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And as I'm sketching, I will try to explain what I'm doing. The many different layers. I'm going to use my pencils and pens, so I'm going to try to just draw a head. So that's the idea, is to draw a head. We're going to be using 07 and 09, and we're also going to be using the 2.0 HB pencil. We're going to use that, and then we're also going to use some of these pens. It makes sense. That's good. That's good. That's all that I want to make sure is I don't lose everybody and it doesn't sound weird. Okay, so to draw a head, how I normally do it. See, usually you guys see me using models. Okay, and I get it. A lot of people are like, oh man, that's how you use Mel. You just use models. Da 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 da. That's not the case. I use models because doing digital work, it makes it easier. Now, drawing it by hand, a little bit different. So this is how I normally will draw a head. We're going to do from here to here. So let's get started. So what I do is I use light pencil just to get the shape. I don't do much detail. I just use very light pencil, kind of just lightly pencil where I want everything to be. So I got the head, I got the neck, got the other part of the neck right there, and then we'll get the shoulder, and then we'll do the shoulder here, and then we'll kind of where the torso's supposed to be. We'll do that about there. Okay, so we got the general shape of where the body's supposed to be right here. We also can kind of do this for the head. So we got a decent shape for the head. Come around to the back to the neck. Then we got that right there. And then we will do the nose. And what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to give you guys the T shape. Okay, and this is, I use this for hand drawing too. So I do the eyebrows, nose, mouth. So you got those parts. So I got that. Now we come back with a little bit thicker pencil. This is when we come in with the 09 at this point. And once we figure out what we want to do and where we want it to be and what we're trying to convey, like, okay, now we know what kind of picture we're trying to do. This is when we start actually making cool stuff, the definition of the character. Okay, so from here we'll go in, and this is where we'll start the nose, and I'll explain the head part too. So we got eyebrow and eyebrow. And see how I work this is that the T shape is where I make the face. I've showed you guys that before. I think I have a video before that explains that and how all of this works together and ties into each other as how you make the human face, or make a face in general. You can do any kind of shape for a face. You don't want to go too hard on it either, because less you have to erase, if you have to erase anything. There we go. you guys might be able to start seeing it take shape now because of the fact that I'm using a harder pencil. And if that's the case, cool. You know, usually you start seeing it take shape around about the time that we start getting into more of the detail with the actual body. There we are. Alright, so now you guys kind of get the idea of the shape. So we're nowhere close to being ready for detail for the face or anything. But we got the shape of where we want it, and then we can go through here and lightly erase where we had the definition points, because now we can start working on the actual face itself. Now, from here, if you want, you can go back and get a smaller pencil. You can go back to the 07 at this point, and then we can start doing definition. We can start making things look a little bit better. You know, make things look a little bit cleaner. I'm checking out this pencil sharpener because you can put a fine tip on a whatchamacallit, yeah, that's neat. Never been able to do that before. Anyways, have a pencil sharpener that can make this fine tip. So now I can do more precise detail. There we go. Now, depending on where you put the iris, depends on what that's going to look like. Yet again, drawing on normal pencil and paper, you know, that's something that is a little bit different. You have to kind of know where you want to put it. Positioning is also another thing that you want to learn as well, because when you're doing different types, as you see here, I messed up on a couple of things. So now I got to come back through and I got to fix the eyes. I need to fix some of the head, because there are some things that, you know, I didn't position right. So, and this is a good way for me to show you guys something real quick about positioning. Where do you want the parts of the body for your character to go? Like, you're trying to draw a character, you want the parts to go a specific place. So you always want to make sure that the top of the ear always hits at the, you can feel it on yourself too, like the top of your ear physically lines up with your eyebrow. So top of the ear always ends up hitting the eyebrow. So you want to make sure you do that with any picture that you do, to make sure that it's the right, everything's in the right perspective, everything's in the right place. You don't want it to be kind of like obscure and strange, because that makes it look odd, and bodies don't look right. And this is where a lot of times, if you see characters in like comic books or something like that, it's like that's a weird pose or a weird position. That's usually the reason behind that. And there we go. Now we can start the ear right about here. There we go. Ears there. And then we have the top of the eyebrow right there. Up this eyebrow is right there. I'm going to do this more anime style too, where I'm not going to use a lot of line. That's also something else I will show you guys too. Less is more with line art, because they have a finesse, the Japanese do, with how to make a picture look more in depth with using less for certain things. Started off with a lot of their scroll art. Sometimes you don't have to use full lines for everything, but well. And then what you want to do from here is then you want to do a headline. Where do you want the hairline to be? So you have to figure out where you want the hairline to be and then start that process. I usually use little dash marks, like little lines kind of depicting where I want the hairline to start or where I want it to be, you know, like a little line there, kind of shaping it a little bit, you know. And then from that point, now we got the neck, we got the face, we got all of that. So now we got the general shape of the body. And see, the perspective came from me being able to figure out the size of the head. And then we'll work on the neck, shoulders, and torso. We'll do all of these parts at different times. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of that. Now we can do the eyes. Since we're going to do more of a larger eye, so we got that there, and you know, a little bit here, and then from here you can make the, you know, pupil, all of that kind of stuff. Because you know they make them large in anime, so you want to make sure that you do the same if that's what you're deciding to do. You don't have to do it that way, but you see, now he's a little cockeyed, you know, he's a little off, but that's okay. You know, no, can't win them all, you know. Let me see if I can fix this up a little bit. Also, instead of you guys going hardcore with your erasing, do semicircles. Little semicircles help you keep from streaking a lot of your lines. If you're just sitting there, depending on what you're doing, if you're just sitting there just wrenching away at it, sometimes that can actually mess up the paper. It can mess up a couple of things. You don't want to do that, especially if you've been putting in a lot of hard work into your piece. You don't want to lose that by erasing. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Just, you know, semicircles are also good to do sometimes. There we go. See, now we got the guy. Now we got the head. Now we got that. And now from here we can start doing other little details. Like we can start with the hair. We can give them some hair now. Start shaping it up. See, it's just basic. You got basic hair. Basic hairline. Basic face. Nothing very special. I'm not putting any real major detail in this. I want this to be as basic as possible, because I want you guys to see how basic this is. Just face, head, neck, shoulders, collarbone. And then also, while we're going through all of these things, I'll show you how to check. The anatomy is very easy to figure out how to draw the anatomy. The only thing you got to do is trace your body. Trace your own collarbone, where your shoulder's at to your neck. Your hands are going to be your best tool, okay? As you can see here, one of these sides is correct and the other one is not because of the head placement, okay? And because of the way that it's designed and angled. Both of them are correct and both of them are wrong in the same aspect. Like this part here, your neck doesn't go just down and over. It has a curve. The curve, I didn't do the curve very well right here because I'm kind of going through it quickly. Same thing with this here. Your neck, when you turn it or lean it, it has a base point into an apex. This is just literally just elongated into the side of his head. Silly. There's other things too, like the eyes. There's certain things that I have here that if you're seeing it, you're like, that don't make no damn sense. But that's because I wanted it to be basic. I wanted everything to be basic so you guys can understand the simple things. Just a simple head, simple face, simple eyes. You know, nothing spectacular, nothing like that. So this is just a basic head, basic body, okay? Now, from here, keeping it simple, we're going to go back and grab that 2.0 pencil, the bigger lead, and we're going to come through and we're going to just give this a little bit darkening up, a little bit more definition, okay? So we're going to come through here and kind of just darken up these lines, make them cleaner, give things a little bit more definition if need be, or not, you know. Hope you guys are having a good time. I hope this is some type of content that you guys would like to see more of. Definitely let me know if this is some content that you would like to see more of, because I'd love to be able to do this more and show you guys on Sundays if that's what you guys would like. You know, because I want you guys to have content, or make content, I should say, that you guys enjoy. Because I mean, if you guys don't enjoy it, then what's the point of doing it? Well, besides me enjoying it, of course. But I'm always going to enjoy what I do. I love drawing. There we go. Had to get this sharpened up. So now we can come through here and darken this up, because what we're going to do is we're going to, as you can see, the darker the pencil is where you start putting in the heavier detail, like the hair. The hair's got details in it too, like it's darker where it's coming from, the hairline, where it's coming from the front. That's where this is coming into play here, you know, dash lines and all of that stuff. There's also something I had in the works too, and as a plan, if you guys would prefer this. I didn't know if I want to shoot with this or not, but there is an opportunity that I can actually, if you would like, I could make pre-made, I can get kits made where you can go to the Etsy store, my Etsy shop, and get your equipment if you need it, like your pencils and pens and all of that. There is an opportunity. If you would like that better, let me know, because I don't know. I have to make it's kind of a large upfront investment to be able to do it, but it would mean that you guys would have everything that you need and you don't have to go through different places, and it could be just set up and easily put together for you. But that would be something that I need to find out in the next couple of these, if you guys enjoy this, and if that's something that we're going to make this, you know, normal content, then yeah, I will push forward with it. So you see here, since I have a darker pencil, that's where I'm putting all this detail in now with the hair. You know, granted, we didn't do very much, but it's just enough. You know, it's just enough to get an understanding of where the hair is at, how the hair looks, different texture. Okay, this would be more of a, you know, you can use this hair for any type of person. I like to rotate my pages. This gives me more control, and this is where you will shapen it up too. You know, this is where I'm also shaping up the hair, bringing it over, because obviously you can tell this is just a basic band, basic comb over. You know, just a little from here, just curving dash marks. I'll show you guys how to do this as well. You know, all of this stuff. I'm not going to just give you half-ass information. I'm going to show you guys, you know, the proper way how to do this. Now, granted, some of you might be like, "Oh man, where's your credentials and all that?" Listen, if you want all that formidable stuff, fine. Okay, you know, you can look at my work and you can tell what I've been able to do over the years of constant practice every day, all the time, you know, trying to better myself, trying to better my craft. You've seen what I've been able to do. And that's what I'm showing you here. But if you want more of a traditional, I get that. You know, some people might be looking for that. You know, I'm just a man that's self-taught myself, and I wanted to share this back and show that anybody can do it. Because I hear people, my mother has said it, friends have said it, you know, even my friends' children have said, like, "I want to learn how to do what you're doing." I'm like, I didn't do anything but teach myself. So, and that's what I want to show you guys, is that, you know, you don't have to go to school to be awesome at art. Art's in you. Art is everything you see, everything your brain can actually produce and show you as something beautiful. That is art. That is the understanding of light, shadow, the composition of the color, the feeling of the emotion that you get from seeing that. That's all the expression of art. And being able to take that and share that same feeling, or put people in a position to make them feel a certain way, is also part of art. You know, all of it's the same. It's all part of the same thing. It's trying to either manipulate or try to show people what you see from your perspective that they may or may not see. You know, that's kind of the run with it. And this sucks, because I thought that this had a little, and it doesn't. Okay, that's cool. I thought that had a little eraser. But anyways, we got the gist of it here. Okay, you know, this is just we'll just put, let's see, what are we going to call this? Beginning, let's see. I'm going to call that intro to drawing. Okay? And just so you guys know, I'm not going to be throwing these away. This is going to be part of the lesson pack that I'm making. Okay? So I'm actually turning these into lesson packs. Lesson 1 will be, you know, intro to like shape, different sizing for lesson, you know, first sketch, to show you the difference between what you can and can't do. So I will be putting these up. I will probably go through it throughout the week and try to figure out something as a lesson plan. So I hope you guys enjoyed what we were working on today. Hope you guys enjoyed what I was trying to do. Sorry about the beginning not having everything up to par, but it's a learning process. So anyways, it looks like it's 6:30 on the dot. Been here for an hour. Like I told you guys, I ain't going to keep you longer, so you guys can watch your football or enjoy the rest of your evening before you have to go back and hit that clock for somebody else to get rich. You know how it goes. You know what's going on. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Always the best part of my series. And I hope that you guys learned a little bit today. And we will see you next time. All right. Take it easy, guys. Bye.